Welcome back to Jesse López Vlog. In today's episode, we're talking about 12 biblical investing principles. Did you know that money is one of the most frequently mentioned subjects in the Bible? Neither did I. That's why I'm doing this episode. It's mentioned over 800 times, possibly thousands of times actually. And many of these verses talk about investing in one way or another. In fact, the Bible lays out a great number of specifics on how to invest your money wisely according to godly wisdom. And when you do them correctly, these biblical investing principles not only increase your monetary wealth, but they'll bless you in every part of your life and your family's life as well. Let's get into it, guys. But before we do, make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you like the video, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. In today's article, I found it on cfinancialfreedom.com/biblical investing principles to build a massive wealth by Jason Kabler, published on the 17th of June, 2020. In the article, he covers 12 Christian principles of investing, along with verses to support each one. But he begins by telling us why investing and wealth are important. What does the Bible say about investing and building wealth? The Bible talks about investing and creating wealth and mentions it literally hundreds of times. You'll find incredible wisdom on how to grow your money wisely while keeping your relationship with God in good standing. You'll also find wisdom on how to avoid unwise investment tactics that aren't sustainable and will ruin you spiritually. There's one verse that he believes sums up godly investing principles really, really well. It's found in Matthew 25, verse 29. To those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. This is a concept mentioned more than once by Jesus and others in the Bible. You can find these ideas in other verses, such as Matthew 13, verse 12, John 15, verse 2, Luke 8:18, Mark 4:25, Matthew 25:28, and Matthew 21, verse 41. When you're wise and use well the resources that you're given, whether it's a little or a lot, it's natural law that what you have will increase even more over time. However, if what you're given unwisely or not at all, you'll eventually lose it all. If you use what you're given unwisely or not at all, you'll eventually lose it. Like it or not, people get rich not because of inheritance or some incredible stroke of luck. They find a way to learn it using their God-given tendencies and talents. They figure out what it takes to make a lot of money, take action, and tend to do it very well, thus creating the conditions for even more wealth and prosperity. So let's start with the 12 biblical investing principles. God wants you to prosper in every way possible, including your finances. When you follow these timeless biblical investing principles, not only will you grow your wealth, your financial legacy, and you'll grow in every other area of your life. First, be faithful with the few. Luke 16, verses 10 through 11, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much, and whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. If you desire to build massive wealth, then first you need to be trustworthy and disciplined with what you already have. You'll never become wealthy if you're living paycheck to paycheck and spending more than you make. You must be the master of your money before the master will trust you with more. The seed of principle. In Mark chapter 4, verses 3 through 9, the parable of the sower talks about the importance of sowing seed into good ground. Listen, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. When the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants, so that they did not bear grain. Still, other seed fell on good soil. It came up, grew, and produced a crop, some multiplying 30, some 60, some 100 times. So there's several awesome biblical investing principles that are worth looking at. Seed must be sown if you want it to multiply. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6 through 8. Remember this, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Just like real seeds, money can't grow and produce more if you don't put it to work. Stowing your money in a savings account or under the mattress doesn't build wealth effectively. Seed must be sown into good ground. When you invest money wisely, it multiplies exponentially over time. This produces more seed that can be deployed for even greater harvest in the future. Not all investments work out in your favor, but the better job you do at sowing your seed into good ground and tending to it well, your harvest will be much greater than your losses. Don't consume all your seed. Unfortunately, too many of us live more than we make. Too many of us live on more than we make. And when you spend more than you make, you have no seed to sow and multiply for a future harvest. That's facts. And when hard times come, you have no reserve to draw from, and you're forced to make desperate financial decisions. Managing your finances so you can consistently sow financial seeds will cause you to have an exponential future harvest. Only invest in things you understand. Proverbs 24, verses 3 to 4 says, "By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures." Anytime you invest, you should fully understand what you're investing in. If you can't explain it to someone else so they can completely understand it too, you don't need to invest. It's extremely easy to be drawn into complicated investments that sound great on the surface, but are rife with risks that cause you to lose most or all of your money. You need to know the level of risk you're taking on as well. Every investment, including keeping your cash in a savings account, involves some type of risk. But when you fully understand what you're investing in and the risk level it represents, then you can make better investment decisions that cause you to prosper. Savings and investing honors God and serves others. Saving and investing your money is good stewardship of what God has provided to you. It's easy for some people to think of savings and investing as a purely selfish act. But when you do it right, when you do it correctly, it's a godly investing principle that changes your life and the lives of others for the better. Using biblical investing principles is good stewardship. Multiplying the money God has provided you with properly honors the gift. When you live paycheck to paycheck, you don't manage your money very well. It means you're using all your seed just to live. You'll never have anything extra to build wealth without understanding this biblical investing principle. Multiplying your money through investing allows you not only to have more money to enjoy for yourself, but more for others as well. It allows you to have independent wealth and freedom. And you can share it with others. You can fund the kingdom and leave an inheritance to your children's children to continue the blessing for generations to come. Always have a plan for your investments. Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 to 3 says, "Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. For still, the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It surely will come. It will not delay. This is not talking about just doing a monthly budget, although that's really important. It's talking about making a plan for your investment that should be a priority too. Some of the basic components of your investment plan should include making consistent automated contributions to your investment accounts, knowing which type of investment account you should be contributing to, knowing how much you'll need to save for retirement, deciding which investments are appropriate for you, and knowing how much you'll need to save every month to reach your goals. Diligent investing makes you rich. Proverbs 21 verses 5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." Proverbs 12 verses 11 says, "Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows worthless pursuits lacks sense." Proverbs 10 verse 4, "A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich." Proverbs 12 verse 27, "Whoever is slothful will not roast his game, but the diligent man will get precious wealth." In Proverbs, King Solomon writes that a diligent person is one who is considered to be wise or righteous. Lack of diligence really means a lack of wisdom and righteousness. Being diligent is also about being consistent when it comes to investing. Applying this biblical investment principle means you should continually invest money over the long term. The more consistent you are at putting money into investments, the more it pays off for you and in the long run. Just putting in a little money here and there when you feel like it doesn't result in great wealth. Most people, believe it or not, have no investment plan, and their lack of diligence shows. Those are the ones that end up hungry, poor, in debt, and forced to work because of a lack of diligence over their lifetime. Next point, be patient. Gain wealth one step at a time. Gain wealth one step at a time. Proverbs 13:11, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." Learning to be patient is a good complement to being diligent. Building lasting wealth takes time. Think of it like growing a mighty oak tree versus planting tomatoes. When you plant tomatoes, you expect a relatively quick harvest that provides for a season. But an oak tree takes decades to become large and strong and will be around for generations to come. Next point, seek wise counsel. Whoever ignores instruction despises himself, but he who listens to reproof gains intelligence. That's Proverbs chapter 15, verse 32. Proverbs 15, verse 22 says, "Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed." Poverty and disgrace come to him who ignores instruction, but whoever needs reproof is honored. That's Proverbs 3, verse 18. You can't be a successful investor by going at it alone. So you can't be a successful investor by going at it alone. You need help and advice from others if you want to truly succeed. Whether you seek out a qualified licensed investment advisor or read a lot of books on investing or YouTube videos, seeking wise counsel always pays off. Next point, procrastination is a mistake. Ecclesiastes 11:4 says, "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap." Hebrews 12, verse 11. "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest." Proverbs 20, verse 4. "Sluggards do not plow in season, so at harvest time they look but find nothing." Let's face it, it's so easy to procrastinate when it comes to investing for the future. Most people believe investing is important, but they always put it off. They believe they can't afford it because they live paycheck to paycheck. They expect to have more disposable income in the future, so they'll wait and invest then. Some are intimidated by investing. The economic conditions aren't right. They'll invest when the economy is better. Retirement seems so far away. I'm so young. I need this money now. Why should I invest now? And tons of other excuses. But the truth is that the earlier you start to contributing to your investment accounts, the better. Even though your excuses may seem legit at the time, the longer you wait, the more money you lose. Procrastination can literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars lost over the growth of your lifetime. Next point, diversify your investments. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Investing your money in several types of assets helps to protect your money. It smooths out your returns and minimizes risk versus keeping all your investment in one asset. I'm sure you've heard the old phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket. This is an excellent example of great biblical investing principles at work. Why should you diversify your investments? Spreading your investments over different types of assets keeps you from being overly dependent on the performance of just one type of asset. If the value, of one type of asset tanks for a while, the other assets may do better. For instance, at least once a decade or so, stock market investments drop 20 to 40% due to economic conditions. But when that happens, your rental property may go up in value, generating income every month. A short list of assets that you can use to diversify your portfolio includes single stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, real estate, gold, bonds, money lending, business ventures, and hundreds more. Next point, don't hoard your wealth. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 13 to 14 says, I have seen a grievous evil under the sun, wealth hoarded to the harm of its owners, or wealth lost through some misfortune, so that when they have children, there is nothing left for them to inherit. Luke 16, verse 9, I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourself, so that when it is gone, you'll be welcomed into eternal dwellings. Next point, putting money to work. Money doesn't do anyone any good if you don't put it to work. Of course, it's wise to keep a reserve on hand for emergencies and have some to provide for your future. But beyond that, money should never be stagnant. Investing for an exponential return is one of the best things you can do with money. The more you grow it, the more you can put it to work. But how else do you put money to work other than investing? Here's some things that you should do. Leave an inheritance. Take care of the needs of others. Enjoy some for yourself. Grow the kingdom. Fund community projects. Fund church projects. And anything else that shows God's love to the world. Next point. If an investment sounds too good to be true, it probably is. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9. Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. This biblical investing principle reveals that anytime that someone tries to sell you an investment that promises incredible returns, you should seriously beware. It's easy to get greedy if you're not careful. Greed will not only mess with you spiritually, it will cause you financial harm as well. Huge returns never come without a ton of risk. And where there is high risk, you're extremely likely to lose your money. Get-rich schemes sound really great on the surface, but when you dig deeper, they're usually promoted by people who are less than honest, whether they realize it or not. Just because someone promises massive returns and they can back it up with testimonials from others doesn't mean that you will have the same experience. Always do your research. Next point, be a giver and invest in the kingdom. Hebrews 13, verse 16. And do not forget to do good and to share with others. For with such sacrifices, God is pleased. Matthew 10, verse 8. Freely you have received, freely give. When you boil down these biblical investing principles to their essence, there is one overarching reason God wants to provide you with material wealth. It's so you can be a giver. It sounds counterintuitive, but when you give a portion of your wealth away, it's a natural law that it will come back to you multiplied. This biblical investing principle is not about you and your bank account. It's about how you can use your material wealth to help others and fund projects that further God's kingdom and influence here on earth. The more money you have, the more you can give. And the more you give using godly principles of giving, the more likely you are to achieve true wealth in every part of your life, including finances. It's good for your bank account, it's good for your soul, and it's good for those on the receiving end of your giving too. Everybody wins. So, with that being said, here's another episode on 12 biblical investing principles on building wealth, the blessings that you can get through learning how to invest, and everything God will bless you, and the people that God will bless you through you. I hope that you got some value out of it. This is a really interesting article written by Jason Kabler. Very on point principles to building massive wealth. Thank you so much to you. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me today. I hope that you got something out of it. And if you haven't done so already, I would really appreciate a like, a subscribe if you haven't already, a notification. Hit that notification bell if you haven't done so already so you don't miss out on future episodes. And we will see you in the next one.